Are you guys ready for some fun tonight? I think it's time to get it going and get serious business. What do you think? Let's do this. Oh, 318. You know what I mean? It was a very rough start. Welcome to the Inside Star Citizen Review. I appreciate if you are here live.
Yes, you're not gonna hate me.
Thank you, Luigi. Appreciate you, bro. Adult time. It's adult time. It's the place to be. Appreciate those Bezos bucks, Luigi. You are the man. Thank you very much. And I would just like to say that as rough as it has been for all of us, because it has been, and I'm going to talk a lot about that tomorrow, there's still progress happening. Kiddos will cry. Kiddos will get upset. But, like, we have come very far away. Let's just take a breath and let's just... Come on. Thank you, Tech. Good timing, bro. Good timing.
With a common denominator.
Bits get you everywhere at adult time, Tech. Bits get you everywhere. It's time to take off this jacket. It's getting a little hot up in here. No. All right, so let's watch and let's just take a breath and let's relax because it has been a very difficult week for us all. And let's watch some Inside Star Citizen Review. And let's just remember the journey, shall we?
Hey, before we get on to the normal business of Inside Star Citizen this week, we wanted to take a moment and recognize and acknowledge what's currently happening with the live gameplay experience.
Hold on, wait, I think I hear it in the distance here. What is that? It's okay. That is the face of remorse and regret, but I feel like there's a joke. I feel like there might be a joke, and I would just give some serious applause if there's a joke after this, like some type of punchline.
Obviously, anyone that's been following the project for any period of time knows that running a live gameplay environment throughout the process of development is an unusual, sometimes trying, but often rewarding experience.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just the tremendous work of our developers that make this possible. It's also the continuing commitment of you, our players, that allow us to test things at scale. Because it's often easy...
Because it is a game in development, right? As mad as I got this week, as frustrated as I was, right? I had to collect myself. I had to breathe, and I had to realize that it is still in development. Okay, let me just breathing.
Easy to forget that with the hype and excitement of a new release, that every level of Star Citizen is a development and testing platform, even the live alpha. Now, even knowing that the launch of Alpha 3.18 was going to be rougher than normal, I think it's fair and safe to say that we were all hoping for a somewhat smoother experience than the one that you have been finding the last week. Now, while I'm going to continue pointing you to the amazing efforts of our platform team, the player experience team, and especially the community team in updating you on the continuing progress through the website and socials, because, quite frankly, they're far more plugged into those things than I am and will have much better information than I ever will.
This is super sincere. This is like mea culpa. They're like, oh my God, we really effed this one up. We have to take a step back and get serious mode with our fans and our backers. I mean, did you guys see all the articles land? Have you guys seen all the articles land? I mean, like all on my feed, all on my phone, man. It has been ridiculous, right, Futz? Like, I'm telling you something. I just scroll to the right on my phone. I see my news feed because most of it's like Star Citizen and cool military shit and high tech. You know, it shows me what I like. No cats. Can I get some applause on that? No cats. Bodhi, if you guys are paying attention to my feed, you guys are understanding of what's going on with Bodhi, my cat, and I. So let's just applause that I get no cats. Listen, I understand on my cat demographic, people that love cats probably going to lose you on this one, but let me tell you, I'm just dealing with Bodhi. and it's very difficult right now. And he has resting Bodhi face. You can see that in the community tab or on my Twitter. And I have no cats in my feed though, and no cats. My girlfriend, nothing but cats. Me, no cats.
We did feel it was important to acknowledge the current state of things at the top of this show, whose story was set weeks and months before. I said it on SCL, and I'll say it again here.
So serious.
We don't just share in the victories with each and every one of you. We're often right there with you with the same thoughts and the same feelings about our disappointments. We're sorry for the rough launch, but I hope you can see the determination and the dedication of those people working to improve things in the improvements that are being made each and every day this week. And will continue
They're
until
gonna have to be
we
careful.
get
Listen. They're gonna have to be careful. I mean, like this was a failure on epic proportions with new players coming in through the door like mad. Right? I understand it's a game in development. We all have to take a breath. We do have to realize that. But we also have to realize the flip side of the coin, which is if we're trying to get this game to be successful, even it's this game in development, with all the new people rushing in the door, right? Try and have 3.18 not ever happen again. Can I get an amen, please? Can I get an amen, please?
Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes.
This is what the PTU is for. This is what the PTU is for. And this was a fumble. This was dropping the ball big time. The PTU is there so that people can test this out before it gets into the PU. Okay? This PU drop was just, I don't know if they were blindfolded. But yeah, they rushed it out way too quick, Futz, and hopefully they learned their lesson, dude. You know? Because when you're bringing in as many eyes to this project with large content creators out there, that's free advertising for Cloud Imperium, and you're bringing in the masses like this, first off, you're going to have to expect problems with Star Citizen. It's a game in development. But when you're bringing that many people in, on the flip side of that coin, you have to realize, man, you can't mess up like you did with 318. This is beyond just like my relationship with Jared. In fact, on Twitter, we were joking. I was talking with him. And, you know, the thing is that people forget that these are real people doing real life things. It's a job. You know? But, like, I feel like I'm giving an F, like a solid fat F for 318's release. And I really want Jared and others there at Cloud Imperium to realize that you're bringing in tons of people through this door. And if you're going to do what you just did with 318, you are going to have a big stinking pile of poo when it comes to funding and revenue, because people are never going to touch it again. Some people had such a bad taste in their mouth with 318 that they're probably never going to touch it again. That's not good for people that have been supporting this project for a very long time. It's a giant letdown to veteran Star citizens. Giant in that respect. And the real world consequences of this is that you probably lost some people.
things where we want them to be. So with that said, let's get started with this week's show. Since the launch of the Persistent Universe in December 2015,
yeah, I understand. Aether's like, what are you talking about? Double question mark. It was in P2 for 4 months, and it should have been for another 4 months, Aether. Right? Right? The problems were to do with the scaling up. I absolutely know that, Aether. You think I don't know that? I've been following this project for a very long time. I know that that's the reason why. However, they need to keep it in PTU so that it doesn't come out a big old fart. Like, you got to realize that people came to this and they played 318 for the first time. Tons of people did. They didn't get into PTU. They didn't. They were fine in 317, right? Sure, 318 was taking forever. All of us were bitching about it, but man, that's what patience is for. Because then when you drop the new patch and all those people come in and it's shitty, they can't even get in, dude, monumentally bad, Aether. Monumentally bad. And that's where I'm coming from on that, brother.
15, mission gameplay has been at the center of the Star Citizen experience. Whether that's doing someone a favor and investigating a few ICC probes, delivering an important package from one planet to the next, or infiltrating a gang of would-be ne'er-do-wells in efforts to keep Stanton safe, missions often push players forward into areas they might not otherwise have discovered and pull them deep into the scandalous underbelly of the star system. And over the years, through the work of the mission feature team, missions have continued to evolve into a modular system that allows for designers anywhere in any studio to create missions not in the weeks and months of 2015, but in the mere days of 2023. So on this week's Inside Star Citizen, let's learn a bit more about how that modular system works, the technical complexities that make it possible, and take a peek at some of the new modules currently in development for Alpha 3.19 and beyond.
Go ahead, you can do it. I can do it? Missions matter.
Okay, wait. Thank you. What's up, hip? Bad Ash. There's a lot of people that are pissed off with me because they think I'm giving off bad vibes, but I'm being a real dude in real life and understanding exactly what game development is and how important it is that they expect or anticipate problems like this. So Bad Ash says they had no way to know what was going to happen until it did. The number of players trying to log in was what actually triggered the issues. Yes. But again, to Bad Ash responding to Futz, dude, this is the world of game development. These issues should be anticipated, right? These issues, they should have someone there professional enough to figure their shit out so that it's smoother. You understand what I'm saying, Bad Ash? The way they executed this, Bad Ash, so unprofessional. So unprofessional. There are problems. Aether says there are problems that don't present themselves until you scale up. It could have been in PT for a year and this still would have happened, said Aether. Foundational technology, this patch. There were bound to be problems. We all knew it. We all knew this, right? Perhaps what should have happened, Aether, is maybe they expand the PTU to more players, you know? I mean, like, or do they have an issue with getting people in the PTU? How many people do you think actually go into the PTU? It's been a while for me. 3.14, I think, was the last time I went to the PTU. I wonder what the volume of people are in the PTU. Could have been worked that route.
No, mission modules. Elliot Maltby.
Mission modules. You're at scene.
And exactly what I'm saying, Tripal. Tripal says they need to do scaling simulation in the PTU. That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you for summing that up, Tripal. This is what I'm trying to talk. I'm getting upset now. This is what I'm trying to say, guys. Right? The professionalism is exactly what Tripal and I are trying to say. They need to do that scaling in the simulation in PTU. You understand what I'm trying to get this point across to you guys? This is a organization with 1,000 people, multiple locations. It's not a tiny little indie company anymore. It's a big boy playing in the big waters, right? 500 million plus in revenue. We're not talking about what we know was Cloud Imperium 10 plus years ago. We're talking about a different beast. And it was a drop of the ball, period. No matter how many different ways you try and swing it. And I'm going to say this. This is coming from one of the most positive supporters of Star Citizen. You guys know I am. You guys know I try and keep it real, keep it positive, keep it light and fun. But even for me, this was like, this was a blow, man.
5.
Mission modules. Lars, scene 5.
Thank you, Aether. Aether,
always wanted to.
I like this. Aether's like, I understand your point. Okay, thank you. Can I get some applause for Big Boy? Here. You got some Big Boy pants on? Hold on. Thank you, Aether. Thank you.
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you.
What?
Bad Ash
You
still
wake up in the
fighting.
morning, you
Bad
say,
Ash
"Well, I'm a
still.
big boy pants."
We
Look, I'm
understand
wearing
Bad
a
Ash. We
I got big boy
understand.
pants
There
on.
should be models
You put
that
a
are
little
predictive.
jacket,
You
you
understand,
go.
Bad Ash?
You take your lunch,
I'm trying to
you got
get Bad
big boy
Ash.
pants on? You got your big boy pants and your snack?
Badash is getting his point across. Technically speaking, yes. Yes, you are right, Badash. But there should be predictive models for this. Do you understand, Badash, what I'm trying to get across with as big as they are? I'm trying to get this point across to Badash as well in the chat. And anybody else that's watching on YouTube. This was a fumble, okay? And they know it. And I know it. And a lot of us know it. And they need to do a better job at predicting these types of things or finding a way to counter these things, even though we had an issue where it was scaling up and having plenty of people on these servers. Maybe we got to do a better job with bringing people into the PTU. Maybe we got to figure out a better way to bring in more people to the PTU.
To do that.
At the very beginning, the early days, everyone was just coming up with missions, right?
What we used to have to do is have a bespoke mission for every mission we had.
Someone might have built it to act.
And we're having a great conversation here, and people are getting pissed off because they want to just keep this video playing, but I'm seeing wonderful chat happening here. And you know what? That's the great thing about DG360. We really take the time to, like, talk about these things. We don't just, like, watch like a sheep on this. And I like what Panda said, you know, maybe what we should do is reward PTU participation.
Yes, can I get an amen? Yes.
And I'm going to give that some applause too. Like on an epic proportion. If they're having, yeah, and Panda says they gave away ships last PTU. So they're having issues getting people, bringing people into the PTU. So that's really what a problem is in this scenario. It's not always going to be this way. I understand this is a unique scenario, right? But it should have been planned for. It should have been. There should have been some type of planning happening behind the scenes or predictive models. It was a fumble. Okay, let's get to Elliot, our friend.
And then another person might have built it to act this way, but in a completely different way.
So one person would start like a delivery mission, would have to write it from beginning to end, and then some other person would have
What's
write
up,
a mission
Milando?
from beginning to end.
Hey,
and then another
Ostentatious.
delivery mission,
Good to see you.
again, from beginning to end. And the problem with that situation was that everyone wrote their scripts differently.
Each mission, while might have similarities, every bit of logic was different in some way.
We are a game that constantly evolves, that constantly gets updated, so things break sometimes.
We used to get bugs back, which was like, oh, you know, that when we enter the action area for this mission, this happens, but it wouldn't happen on the other one, even though they're functionally doing the same thing.
Everything was built in a different way, and so everything also needed to be fixed individually.
It was a lot of reworking and redoing and
Respect
over and
that
over
beard.
again.
Respect
And
that man's
eventually
beard.
that could not be scaled up anymore.
In a game like Star Citizen, where we really want to populate
that
the
beard, Pepe?
entire universe with missions, we can't really do that. We have to come up with a different solution.
We don't need all these people working on all these things all over the place if we can have more of a unified approach towards it.
That's where mission modules come in.
So the answer to this, to fix all of those issues, is a more modular system. This is where we identify key functionality between missions and plug them all together and make it all operate under one module. This means that when we get a bug, it is likely that every other mission will experience this bug and we can fix it. So we have modules and submodules, and there is no end to that. You can keep putting them inside of each other. But on the high level, we have what are called wrapper modules. So some of the different wrapper modules are like delivery missions.
Your typical delivery mission is pick up a box and then deliver the box in another location, which has certain variations.
So we have ones that are called multi-stop, which are essentially, here's 5 boxes, here's the pickup locations, and here's all the drop-off locations. The player can decide in what order they want. There are the linear wrapper module, which is we give you one box and you have to deliver that before we then give you the next box.
Infiltrate and Defend has like various subtypes and different variations.
Man, it just feels all confused since that. Do you remember the video? Do you remember the Inside Star Citizen video where they were talking about server meshing and it said part 1 like 3 weeks ago? Was that 3 weeks ago? You know, and then boop, they just changed course, right? Man, it's feeling like a little strange to me. It's feeling like confused. It's feeling confused. Like I feel like there's too many parts and pieces now. Like I'm feeling like inside Cloud Imperium, the communication's all over the place. That's just my speculating and opinion right now.
That we can use depending on what the mission wants to achieve.
You've got eliminate all missions, or you've got eliminate specific missions, or even an eliminate boss mission where players must neutralize the grunts first.
I'm still having
and then
issues. I got in
boss
twice
shows up,
B
and
for a
that's
little
the
bit.
eliminate target.
And those are all the sub-modules of the infiltrate and defend type, and we're still making more. Then there's the bounty hunting modules.
Our bounty missions are quite well known. The most basic version is you accept a contract.
Right, Red.
It tells you where the bounty is.
We're feeling the effects of this roadblock called server meshing right now. They're working on very important issues. You know, in defense of Cloud Imperium, like they are hitting the wall right now with very important issues that we knew were always roadblocks from the beginning of time. Now they're hitting them. That's actually what's happening here. So they've got to tackle these problems, and you know they're trying to do something that's really never been done before on this scale ever. So you know, in defense of Cloud Imperium, that's a truth bomb right there that needs to be said. But man, we're really seeing the effects, aren't we? We're really seeing the effects.
You travel there and you take it out, which then can be modified in like several variations.
It consists of the synced assassinations. It's the group bounties where you have 3 different bounties at different locations you have to get to and kill. It's the Idris event where you have to go and kill an Idris with potentially multiple people you don't know. And when the ability to capture people comes online, we'll add even more modules to help support this.
So what we're working on now is resource collection missions. That includes salvage and mining missions.
We're even going to be adding classic things like someone wants 40 pieces of wheat and you have to go and find that and bring that back to them. All of these things we're looking into, investigating, hopefully you'll see soon. No, Reddit, that's just an example. We're not actually going to collect wheat. So let's dive deeper into submodules, and let's use one that looks relatively simple, the delivery module. The delivery module uses a wrapper called the multi-stop delivery. So when that fires, that starts something called the initialized delivery loop. The initialized delivery loop reads parameters that designers give us, say how many boxes they want to be delivered. For this example, let's say 3. So those 3 boxes would start 3 individual round deliveries. Now a round delivery will care and track the progress of a singular box and its journey from point A to point B. So then after that, round delivery has booted up and it has all the information.
Did you guys hear that? Damn. Damn. That's crazy. What's up, Rev? The DG LaBeouf has nothing on me. Has nothing on me.
That then goes, right, now I need to start the first part of it, which is the pickup part. So it starts the pick up or drop off module, which then will check what has a designer specified to me. Does the designer care where this is spawned? Do they want it a locker? Do they want it as an item pod? If they don't, it will choose randomly. So let's say they go, okay, I want it to be picked up from a item pod, which is essentially what you know as a shelf. The item is spawned on a shelf and it sits there waiting. When the player interacts with the item and picks it up, it sends a callback back to the pickup or drop off and say, this item has been retrieved. The pickup or drop off goes, my job's complete, let me tell the round delivery. The round delivery then goes, okay, thank you for that information. I can now start the drop off process because the box that I had been told to pick up has been picked up. It will then say, I'm going to boot the pick up or drop off again, but this time it will specify the drop off process. Once again, taking into account anything that the designer specified if they want it dropped off in a locker.
And after that, the box will then float magically and kill you. Sorry, I had to. It was too easy. Elliot just walked into that. He's just walking into it.
Or at a shelving unit again. Say this time it's a locker. Then what happens is it will boot up a completely different module of the delivery.
Thank you, Oz. Welcome, Supermod Oz, to the stream. This is how I sound most of the day. My children wonder what it is that I'm trying to say to them.
Delivery locker. Then that will send the request to the delivery locker and say, hey, delivery locker, you're going to expect X item from X person. The delivery locker then waits. When you put it in the delivery locker, the delivery locker will verify that the item is the one that was actually asked for you to be delivered, and then it will once again send an event back up to the pickup or drop off going, hey, I've got the right item. That will go, cool, thank you. Send that up to the round delivery. The round delivery will go, well, that's my box gone. I finished. I'm going to send this up to the initialized delivery loop. The initialized delivery loop goes, that's 1 out of 3 now delivered. It will then repeat this process for the other 2 boxes that can be done in any order.
Hold on, look at him coming in like a boss with 52 viewers, flooding DG360 with amazing goodness. Viking charge in effect. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Let's give some applause out to my friend Execute. Is that Execute or is that Paul or is that Space Tomato? Which one is it? It's probably Execute. It's my buddy Execute. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to DG360. It's a little strange over here. I don't know if you can handle it.
Then when that completes all over together, the initialized delivery loop will go, cool. All of my things have been finished. I'm going to send it up to the multi-stop. The multi-stop will then go, that's my mission over. Complete, you get your money. And it's as simple as that. The reason we set this up like this is because it allows us to quickly plug pieces in. For example, the prison mission had to expand on the delivery system to allow you to pick up from a corpse and drop off to a satellite as a sort of upload function. What this means is we didn't have to create another delivery module to do that specific process. We created 2 ending modules of pick up corpse
all for a box,
and
man.
upload data. Those live at the end. So after the pick up or drop off has run its course, it would just pick those 2, which means we don't have to add specific functionality to the entire module.
Thank you, Star Citizen
MRE. It only has to be at the
Welcome
end.
to the fan, bro. Disclaimer, what Elliot has presented here is an overly simplified version of the modular system for delivery missions presented a single uninterrupted, unrehearsed take. He clearly left a bunch of stuff out. So the system should not be considered as simplistic as presented here. Okay. All right. All right. Ooh.
So I guess you really want to hear about some of the new stuff.
That was
so let's
the
talk
smooth brain
about salvage
version, right,
modules.
fathers?
The salvage module is currently a singular module, and what we have done is allowed for a bunch of functionality.
The most simple version is you get a contract in your mobi-glass given by a company that has salvage rights. You accept mission in a mobi-glass, and then it's going to give you a piece of salvage, and it says, well, we have a piece of salvage for you, and it's located at this Lagrange point.
The player is shown a location where a shipwreck can be found. So they make their way there, and it could be that another NPC is there salvaging already.
Futz is like, get him off my screen.
Or you could have an illegal variant of the mission where you have to go there and
Elliot's
salvage
cool,
everything quickly.
Execute from Inforunner says, Elliot joined us in chat earlier. Funny guy. He's doing that with us, too. It's like he's such a cool dude. He, like, chills out. I feel like he's truly a gamer, you know? Elliot showed up on Inside Star Citizen a couple months back, and he was in our chat. But like just his first appearance, and I feel like legit he's just going in and figuring shit out, just playing the game, and you can really tell he loves the project. So that's cool about Elliot.
Before another player that has the contract legally shows up.
But there's going to be a timer on screen of whenever the legal owner of that salvage is going to appear, which can end up in enemies arriving because he calls them in. We've made several submodules that allow to work with it. So the first one is spawn ship waves. So it's going to be a wave-based module that allows the designer to define what the waves are like exactly, and then they show up. And another module that we've been making that we're actually quite proud of is a chicken ship module. And that's a ship that shows up and then is either going to attack you or try to run away, and if you scare it off by either damaging it or taking too long, it's going to try and jump away. And if it does so, then it allows the designer to define what's going to happen then. So the most basic version would be he's going to call in his friends. They come in, and then all of a sudden it's not you and a vulture against another vulture, it's going to be you against a retaliator bomber and 4 arrows, and you're in trouble. Now, the other option is like, okay, if you destroy it, then what happens? So we have the option of like a Carrick arrives because the company is like, well, we haven't heard from Bob in an hour. We're going to send like someone else to do the salvage, but maybe something happens to them. We're going to send something bigger.
What's up, Coyote? Grab your chicken suit. Welcome to the fan, bro. Listen, we're going to see that in the after party. I got a great example of soft death and the realism and the immersion being added to the game. In 3.18, we got a couple portions of gameplay that we're going to show you at the after party where you can see the changes that make you actually feel good and not bad, that where you can see progress. So we'll see that at the after party as well. But like there's a layer here of realism that's being added.
Or you basically warded off the defenders and you're now safe.
What's up, Milano? Thank you for those bits,
This kind of modular.
Thank you. Thank you. What are you doing? Milano, thank you for those baseless bucks, man. Appreciate you, dude.
Approach will allow other designers to come up with whatever they want when it comes to building missions. There could be a number of possibilities. It is only limited by their imagination.
Pepe,
all
can we
of
get
these
hip
sort of
carriage
modifiers
out of
and
here?
options are there to sort of allow us to create different types of gameplay or different experiences.
Where's my
with
super
very
mods?
little changing of the logic. It's a lot of just changing different properties on what's called a mission record.
Another mission module that we're working on that hasn't been revealed yet is package extraction. So it's a mission where the Ninetales have taken over another Crusader platform, and they have gotten their hands on some highly valuable
Super
Crusader
mods are on
prototype ship components. So Crusader really wants them back before they fall into the wrong hands. And as a result, they put out a contract, and many players all around Crusader are tasked with going to that platform and handing it to the Ninetales, essentially getting back the prototype ship components before they can be flown off-world.
One thing we've been playing with is that we hooked it up to the bounty modules that already exist. So we would fire a bounty module where the player goes to a location, they kill a ship, and then we kick off a salvage module, all in one mission. So the player goes there, kills the ship, and then instantly their objectives are like, and now harvest it. And then that's the completion of the mission. So at the moment, mining missions are on pause while we wait for resources from other teams, but in the meantime, we will continue to develop salvage missions, mining missions, and the overall scope of resource collection missions.
That's cool.
So, you know, you could hopefully...
Dude, hold on. Elliot's really getting into these missions, man. Elliot's getting into these missions, and they're like, I like that. Attention to detail, man.
See your wildest imagination of resource collecting missions come true. A reasonable expectation of resource collection missions in the future. So the biggest virtue of this is it allows other designers like Guillaume from Montreal or Sam from the EU locations team to go in and be able to piece together their own custom mission.
We just send them, once a mission module is finished, all the questions that they need to fill in for this.
Their designer can go to Date Fudge, select a mission, modify a few properties that will change the behavior of the mission, whether it's the type of box they're delivering or what enemy they want you to kill. All of these modules are intended to be stitched together in easy ways to be able to create completely new bits of content so that the content expansion can be huge.
And this is really important for when you try to build a game of the scale of Star Citizen.
They could build a mission where you go to a location to do an eliminate all, and as you're arriving there, there's a bounty target in the sky you have to take out first. As you go in and manage to kill them all, they use the item dispenser we use in Jump Town and Korea to spawn an item that when the player picks it up, it then starts a delivery mission.
That's the real win of thinking modularly. So that was a little look behind the scenes of what we do in the mission feature team.
The mission feature team consists of more than just the people you see here. We have a much bigger team that are building these behind the scenes to be able to bring you this new content, these new functionalities, and also help our designers internally to be able to also deliver the same thing.
Yeah, it really, the cool thing is that, you know, people, when they're screaming for content, this is the content they're screaming for. Like, a lot of times when people are like, we need more content, we need more, this is what they're talking about. And Elliot's in it. I feel very confident that it's going to continually get better. I remember, like, oh my God, I can't even remember when missions were introduced, but they were so far and few in between, and now they're being populated pretty nicely. Welcome to the fam, Diggs. Welcome to the fam, bro.
Have worked on and are working on. Obviously, as more systems come online, we are going to start making more and more modules. Salvage and mining were the most recent ones, and we've worked on those.
That's cool, Aether. That's cool, dude.
Is coming soon, so we're going to probably make some modules with that.
We're going to continue to make more and more mission modules and more things for you to play and enjoy.
Thank you very much for
right. That's basically what it was, Oz. Remember,
what
dude?
we do. We're hopefully making everything you like, and yeah.
Cool.
I don't know what else to say.
Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Inside Star Citizen.
They won't see. I'm not in the next episode.
I'm not in the next episode.
Myself, we know.
You just said you were.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that modularity is what allows for the work of one mission to be carried over and utilized in a variety of others. That it allows for the relatively quick construction and iteration of missions by designers from all over the globe. That it is ultimately what is allowing us to currently add gameplay quickly
stuff.
and efficiently to new locations like the underground facilities, building interiors, and even the upcoming pyro system. And that new modules are being created along the way, like the salvage and mining parts of resource collection, as well as the investigations we've discussed previously. And just to touch on Alpha 318 once more, the team continues to tackle the troubles that have plagued launch since Friday, and you'll find continuing updates as needed at the robertsspaceindustries.com website. Now, stability has been steadily returning all week, with more and more people being able to connect in and stay in for longer durations after that. And there's been a number of absolutely critical fixes
very difficult
that
for us.
only became known and necessary thanks to you all showing up and stressing the ever-loving hell out of the new Entity Streaming Foundation for the Persistent Universe in ways that, frankly, we never could on the PTU. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier, is like trying to find more incentives for people to get into the PTU, to stress test. That's what should have happened. You know, they're dependent upon like bringing people in for those types of tests. I understand that. And they can't get that amount of number of people in the PTU, unfortunately, to test it properly for this release, and we just smashed into a brick wall. But there's no good way to talk about how 318's come out. There's no good way to talk about it.
Thank you. And thank you to all the developers who never appear on camera because, frankly, they're just too busy. It's been a frustrating week for everybody.
Yep.
But I'm also really proud to stand here and represent those who are working so hard to do right by the community.
It's part of the journey.
And this project.
Welcome
For
to
Inside
Star Citizen, man.
I'm Jared Huckabee. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye on the website for all those Alpha 318 post-launch details. And we'll see you all here next week.
Listen. Let's see if there's anything else here. There's a little tidbit, little marvel.
The last time I was in front of a camera, it seemed like really artificial, and it was difficult to talk to the camera. It felt like it was just judging me, whereas with you guys, I feel like I'm more having a conversation. Do you know where mission logic comes from?
No.
Well, the earliest record of logic that we have in our world started with Aristotle, right? He wrote this book that we translate nowadays as The Instrument. And he was preoccupied with stuff like Socrates is mortal. All humans are mortal. Therefore, wait, did I mess that up? I said Socrates is mortal.
Philosophy 101, Cloud Imperium.
Nope, that's it. You had one chance.
That's funny. That's funny. Listen, guys, if you watch this on YouTube and you're watching the highlight, thank you. Push the join button. Consider supporting us. Thank you so much. We are going to have an after party where you guys chose things that we can watch. If you're here with us live, let me just tell you what. Thank you for doing so, and it's ready. We're going to get into after party mode. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, we're switching over to Twitch. We're having party. Let's do it, and let's have some fun.